Hello everyone, welcome you all to the Mergers, Acquisition and Corporate Restructuring class. Today we are doing on Unit 4, that is Accounting for Amalgamation. Today we are going to understand the Unit 4 is called Accounting for Amalgamation. So what do you mean by Accounting for Amalgamation? Why it is important for the corporate sectors? Okay, let's understand that. Accounting for amalgamation means when two companies merge into each other, either in terms of mergers or acquisition or a takeover or any form of corporate restructuring if it is done. So obviously the financial statement and the financial activity will be changed. Okay, so for that reason we have to do and we have to maintain the accounts for the same, whatever we have done, mergers, acquisition and corporate restructuring. So that we are going to understand in the current session. Okay, so here we understand whenever two companies merge into each other, either in terms of merger or acquisition, so how we are going to evaluate the assets of the company and how we are going to consider the liabilities of the company and how we are going to prepare P&L account or balance sheet. Okay, and what all the journal entry will be passed when two companies merge into each other. The journal entry will be passed. Okay, both in the point of transferor company and transferee company, irrespective of either merger or acquisition. And also we have to evaluate the purchase consideration. So whenever company buy another company, the buyer company has to pay some of the values to the seller company. We call it as purchase consideration. Okay, so how to calculate the purchase consideration, and after that how to prepare the post-merger balance sheet of transferor company and transferee company. And also we understand the journal entry, how journal entry will be passed whenever the company go for merger or acquisition in the point of transferor company and transferee company. So let's begin with the accounting for amalgamation. So amalgamation means it's a international context. Okay, so in international context we say it's amalgamation, but in Indian context we say merger. So amalgamation means it's a broad area which includes mergers and other forms of corporate restructuring. So in international context we say it's an amalgamation, and in the Indian context we say it's a merger. So merger means in the merger we prepare and we maintain the accounts. So such kind of accounts management and maintenance, we call it as accounting for amalgamation. Okay, so in the accounting for amalgamation we understand the different terminologies. So after the merger we prepare post-merger balance sheet, post-merger P&L account, and also we pass the entry for both the company, okay, based on the transaction whatever they have done it. And also we go with the calculation of PC, that is purchase consideration, because whenever seller company is selling its business activity, so the buyer company has to pay some of the specified amount to the seller company. So that we are going to evaluate. So let us begin with the introduction of the accounting for amalgamation. As I said earlier, we have to calculate the some of the values and some of the PC means purchase consideration and balance sheet preparation in the accounting for amalgamation. So accounting for amalgamation will be evaluated based on the two methods. So whenever merger happens in the point of whenever the amalgamation happens in the nature of mergers and whenever the amalgamation happens in the nature of purchase. So amalgamation in the nature of merger and amalgamation in the nature of purchases. Okay, so we understand the accounting calculation in both the method. One is nature of merger and the nature of purchase. So we calculate the accounting what values in a different way in the case of merger and another way in the case of purchases. Okay, so we understand how we calculate the accounts, means how we maintain the accounts in the merger and how we maintain the accounts in the purchase. Okay, so in the like merger, in the nature of merger, usually one company combine with another company. They may form new company or they may form an existing company. So on that time, usually accounts maintenance is different. And in the nature of purchase, here one company acquired the another company part of the segment or a portion of the asset. Okay, so on that time the calculation is something different. Okay, so that is called as nature of the purchase. So here the whole and soul we will consider, and when it comes to the nature of purchase, only the portion of the segment, maybe asset or maybe the division of the another company, that only will be like consider to calculate the value of the purchase method. Okay, so that is called amalgamation in the nature of merger and amalgamation in the nature of purchase. So we can understand this concept thoroughly in the methods of like amalgamation. In the methods of amalgamation, so these two are the types. Okay, these two are the types of amalgamation. We call it as types of amalgamation. Okay, these two are the types. Next, we have methods of accounting for amalgamation. Okay, we have methods of accounting for amalgamation. Okay, so methods of accounting for amalgamation includes two types, means two methods it includes. One is pooling of interest method and second one purchase method. Okay, pooling of interest method and purchase method. So actually we prepare accounts for these two methods, pooling of interest method and purchase method. Okay, so pooling of interest method is different and purchase method is different. So in these two perspective, we prepare like journal entry, we prepare PC calculation, we also prepare post merger balance sheets. Okay, so here like we understand these two like methods meaning in terms of difference. Okay, so let's find out, let's understand the difference between pooling of interest method and the purchase method. Okay, so in the pooling of interest method, this pooling of interest method is applicable in the nature of merger. If the business happen in the nature of merger, okay, if the business is created or changed in terms of merger, then we apply the pooling of interest method. Okay, and if it is like what in the case of acquisition, okay, if the business activity changed as acquisition, okay, as purchase, as takeover, then we apply the method of purchase. Purchase method we do apply. Okay, so we can say that the pooling of interest method is applied in the case of an amalgamation in the nature of merger, whereas the purchase method is applied in the case of amalgamation in the nature of purchase. Next, second difference. In the pooling of interest method, not only the assets and liabilities consider, but also considers the reserves of the transferor company, okay, and that will be recorded by the transferee company in the books of accounts. And in the purchase method, the transferee company records in his books of accounts only the assets and the liability taken over. The reserves and others like export reserve or any kind of reserves, etc., maybe statutory reserves and other things of the transferor company are not aggregated with the transferee company. So it will be considered like this. Under the pooling of interest method, next point, under the pooling of interest method, the difference between the consideration paid and the shares capital of the transferor company is adjusted in the general reserve or the other reserves of the transferee company. Next, under the purchase method, the difference between the consideration paid and the net asset taken over is treated by the transferor company as goodwill or capital reserve as the like what the business transactions comes or as the demand creates. Okay, so here in the pooling of interest method, general reserve difference adjusted as general reserve, and here we adjust as a capital reserve. Next point. In the pooling of interest method, the statutory reserves are recorded like under section 80 HHB and reserves created under section 80 HHD of the IT Act of the transferor company are incorporated in the books of the transferee company. Okay, and in the case of purchase method, for legal compliance, statutory reserves such as foreign project, reserves account, okay, and all other reserves and no other like required to be open, while the purchase method like it's incorporated as statutory reserves, the open amalgamation adjustment and deductions it with the amount of the statutory reserves, whatever they consider. So these are the difference between the pooling of interest method and the purchase method. We solve the problems on the same. So hope you understood both the methods. Then let's moving on to next one, that is purchase consideration. Purchase consideration. So purchase consideration means whenever buyer company like what accept the seller company business, okay, on that time the buyer is supposed to pay some of the values to the seller company, either in terms of cash or in terms of stock, or both together they can pay it. That is called as purchase consideration. So purchase consideration means the buyer company purchasing seller company. For that reason, the consideration is supposed to be done. Consideration means giving something and taking something. Why they are giving? Because they are taking the company of seller. Seller company they are taking. For that reason, they are paying some money, isn't it? That is called as purchase consideration. So we have purchase consideration calculation. We have purchase consideration calculation. So we calculate the PC in 4 methods. In 4 methods we calculate. First one, lump sum method. Okay, we calculate this in terms of lump sum method. Second one, net asset value method or net asset method. Third one, net payment method. And the last one, intrinsic value method. Intrinsic value method. So the PC will be calculated in terms of these 4 ways. Lump sum method. Lump sum method means like buyer company pay the whole money to the seller company either in the form of cash or stock or together. Okay, so they'll pay at a time in a bulk way. They'll pay. That is called as lump sum method. You don't have problems on this. Next, asset value method. Net asset value method means the assets of the like seller company will be taken over by the buyer company. Okay, so the PC will be paid based on the assets and assets incorporated by seller company to buyer company and buyer company to seller company. That is called a net asset value method. In the net payment method, okay, here you have problems on net asset method, you have problems on this net asset value method. In the net payment method, so here we pay the bulk of cash, okay, bulk of agreed like assets and also agreed securities. That is called as net payment method. The net payment method, so we pay cash, we pay agreed value of assets, agreed value of security to the seller company. That is we call as net payment method. You have problems on this. And intrinsic value method means the agreed value of assets and liabilities will be considered as a PC, as a consideration to the seller company is called as intrinsic value method. So these four methods are the PC calculation. So you have problems on net asset method and net payment method. So let's start the problems on net asset value method. I'll read the problem, go through that. It's a question paper problem. Write down problems on net asset method in PC calculation. It's a question paper problem. The following is the balance sheet of A Limited. They have given the balance sheet, liability left side, assets right side, share capital 6,000 equity shares of 100 rupees each. It's fully paid. It is 6 lakh rupees. General reserve 2,50,000, P&L appropriation account 80,000, bills payable 70,000, sundry creditors 2,45,000, goodwill 70,000, P&M, that is plant and machinery 4,60,000, furniture and fittings 1,02,000, stock 4,36,000, debtors 1,34,000, cash at bank 23,000, preliminary expenses 20,000. So total of both liability and assets are 12,45,000 rupees. And we have given some of the adjustment. B Limited purchases the balance sheet of A Limited. Okay, so here B is the buyer, A is the seller. Second point, goodwill is valued at 2 lakh rupees. Goodwill is valued at 2 lakh rupees, while stock is valued at 4,16,000. Okay, then other assets are considered worth their book values only. And B Limited does not. Third point, B Limited does not take over cash at bank. They have mentioned. Consideration, next, fourth one. Consideration is to be discharged in the form of like what 90,000 fully paid equity shares. Okay, 10 rupees each and valued at par and the balance in cash. So you are required to calculate the amount of PC from the B Limited to A Limited. Okay, we have to calculate the PC amount here. So already I told you the net asset method, we consider the incorporation of assets from this company to that company. So and here we have to observe some points. So agreed value means the amount at particular assets or liabilities will be considered. Okay, so apart from share capital, general reserve, P&L account, okay, then others like current liability will be considered here, like fictitious assets like preliminary expenses, underwriting, commission, discount on issuing of shares, discount on issue of debentures, expenses on issue of debenture, debit balance of P&L accounts are not taken over by the buyer company. So these value will not be considered. So here we have preliminary expenses and we don't consider that. We have cash at bank. They asked us to not to consider that also. So let us solve the problem. Go to the solution. I'll just rub the board. So go to the problem and solution. So here we have to calculate the PC, purchase consideration, calculation of purchase consideration, that is PC, okay, and a net asset method. Because they have asked here, the problem itself represent, it's a net asset method. So they asked us to consider the agreed value of asset means it is belong to net asset method. By seeing the problem, you have to understand whether it is belong to net asset method or net payment method. So this problem is belong to net asset method. So we will calculate the net asset method, PC calculation. So we have to consider agreed value of assets. seller company data they have given. Okay, so we have to find out for the B company how much they are going to pay. Okay, so we consider agreed value of assets. Agreed value of assets. Agreed value of assets. So goodwill they have mentioned, stock they have given, okay, debtors they have given, plant and machinery, furniture. We don't consider cash at bank because they have mentioned. Preliminary expenses we are not supposed to consider because it's a fictitious assets. Okay, so they have asked us to take the goodwill as a 2 lakh because in the balance sheet they have given 70,000. We consider the goodwill in the adjustment value they have, whatever they have given. Even same thing with stock also. Okay, so take the goodwill first. Take all the assets. First one is goodwill. Goodwill. Goodwill is how much we have? We have 2 lakh rupees. Okay. So next we have stock. Stock they told us to consider 4,16,000 rupees. So next we have debtors. Debtors amount. How much we have? We have 1,34,000. So remaining assets are considered as per book value method, means as per the balance sheet figure. Next we have plant and machinery. Plant and machinery value is 4,60,000. And lastly we have furniture. The furniture value is 1,02,000 rupees. Okay, so do the total of this one. How much you will get? So you will get 13,12,000 rupees. You will get 13,12,000 rupees. This is the agreed value of assets. Okay. Yes. Next we minus with the liabilities. Less liabilities. So here we don't consider all the capital liability. We only consider like some of the current liabilities we will consider. So here in the problem they have given the current liabilities of how much? Bills payable and sundry creditors. That is 70,000 and 2,45,000. You consider both. That is first one is bills payable. Bills payable is how much? Bills payable. So we have 70,000 and we have creditors, sundry creditors. How much we have? We have 2,45,000. Okay, minus of these two from this. So how much you'll get? You will get 9,97,000 rupees. 9,97,000 rupees. So this is called as total purchase consideration amount. This is called total PC amount. So buyer company has to pay 9,97,000 rupees to buy seller company. So here B company is supposed to pay 9,97,000 rupees to which company? Yeah, A company limited. This is how we consider. So in the problem they have also asked the consideration is to be discharged in the form of 90,000 fully paid up shares of 10 rupee each. Okay, so let us calculate further. So 90,000 equity shares of 10 each. 90,000 equity shares into 10 rupee each. So 90,000 into 10, we will get 9 lakh, I think. Yes. So you will get 9 lakh. Okay. So out of 9,97,000, 9 lakh is in terms of shares, in terms of equity shares they have paid. Out of 9,97,000, 9 lakh is paid in terms of equity, and remaining amount is how much? Yeah. So the remaining amount is 97,000 rupees is paid in the point of A company in the form of cash. So cash payment, how much? 97,000. This is how we calculate the PC under net asset method. So only this type of problem will come for the exam. Kindly make it very important. Okay. Any doubt you can ask. Seven marks question it is. So next, moving on to another type of problem for net payment method. Next, I will go through that. Suppose P Limited for business takeover from S Limited agrees to pay 5 lakh rupees in cash and allot S Limited 4 lakh rupees equity shares of 10 rupee each, fully paid at an agreed value of 15 rupees per share. We have to calculate the PC. We have to calculate the PC. So here they have mentioned both like what values of shares in the point of the seller company. So P Limited is the buyer and S Limited is the seller here, and they have specified agreed value. Agreed value means it is belong to net payment method. So let us find out how much they are going to pay. How much they are going to pay. So calculate the PC. Next question. PC calculation in the point of second problem. Answer. Net payment method. Okay, net payment method under this. So they have given 5 lakh rupees of cash and 4 lakh into 10 of the shares they have given. So cash payment, agreed value of cash payment is how much? It is 5 lakh. And next, shares value 4 lakh into how much? 4 lakh, and they have agreed for 15 rupees. They have agreed for 15 rupees. So 4 lakh into 15. So you will get 60 lakh rupees. So totally it is 65 lakh. 65 lakh is the PC amount. So buyer company is supposed to pay 65 lakh to seller company. So buyer company is P Limited, seller company is S Limited. This is the answer for net payment method problem. Hope you understood. Okay, next moving on to another type of problem on the net payment method only. It's a question paper problem. The balance sheet of S Limited is as follows. They have given the balance sheet, share capital they have given, reserves, and sundry liability they have mentioned. Here in the right side they have given total assets value, adjustment they have mentioned. P Limited takes over the balance sheet of S Limited and agree to give for each 11% preference shares in S Limited, that is 12% preference shares of 10 each. Okay. Then fully paid up at par, and each equity shares in S Limited is 1 rupee in cash and 1 fully paid equity shares of P Limited of 10 rupees valued. It is at 15 rupees. Calculate the PC. They have mentioned the stock payment and the cash payment. So here agreed value of cash mentioned, agreed value of stock mentioned. So by seeing the problem, we can say it is belong to which method? I am hearing it is net payment method, because they have mentioned agreed value of cash, agreed value of stock. Hence it is belong to net payment method. Will solve? Yeah. I'll just rub the board. Yes, calculation of PC and a net payment method. So let us calculate the stock payment first, then we can go for the cash payment. So stock payment, agreed value of stock payment first. Okay, so they have given 12% preference shares. 12% preference shares will be taken at 10 rupee each. Okay, 10 rupee each. So 12% preference shares, 12% preference shares, okay, payment. So how much we have? We have 20,000 will be take for 10, okay, and agreed value is 10 rupee again. They have mentioned the problem itself. So 20,000 into 10 into 10. So how much will get? You will get 20 lakh rupees. This is the first one. And second, we have equity share. Equity shares. Equity shares, they are told, okay, yes, equity shares, 8 lakh equity shares of 10 rupee each, but for the consideration, we have to consider 15. See the last line in the problem, 15 rupees we have to consider. So 8 lakh of shares into, sorry, 80,000 of, yeah, 8 or 8 lakh, yeah, it's 8 lakh only. 8 lakh of shares into 15 rupees each. Into 15 rupees each. You will get 1 crore 20 lakh rupees. You will get 1 crore 20 lakh rupees. Yes, 1 crore 20 lakh. So the total is called as the stock payment, that is 1 crore 20 lakh and 20 lakh put together, it is 1 crore 40 lakh in the point of stock payment. Next, go to the cash payment. Cash payment is as per the equity shares value of S Limited, 1 rupee each. Okay, so 8 lakh into 1 rupee each. 8 lakh into 1, it is 8 lakh rupees only. This is cash payment and these two are stock payment. So the total is 1 crore 20 plus 28 is 1 crore 40 and 1 crore 40, 8 lakh it will come. 1 crore 48 lakh. This is called total PC amount as per net payment method. This is how we solve the problem. So in the net payment method, either he asks, means he will be asking this kind of question or the previous one. Out of these two, he will be asking one. Hope you understood. Thanks for patiently listening. Have a nice time.